Ross here, Big Water Fishing. You know, normally we shoot our little kind of show opens as we're fishing, but I think you're going to want to stay tuned to this one because we couldn't actually shoot an open. This is taking place after we do this little shoot because the pandemonium. First rod out, had a fish on, had one on the second rod before you can even get a board on it. Crazy. Heat of summer, catching some big fish too, down there near the Ohio-Pennsylvania line. Deepwater tactics. We got into them, and it's a little different than some of these stuff seen before. Stay tuned.
I think it's time for quiet time.
B-Team Bob out here, guys. You've seen him in the project boat. We decided to give him a little get out of jail. Not much, little. And we are running, well, we're not running a whole lot because we just started setting first line. We got a fish on here, 7 colors of lead core, using Suffix 832. Right, dude. Oh, we got another one. We got a double. Oh boy! We got smoke show going here. All right, so here's what we got going on. We got 2 lines in the water. We got 2 fish on. We got B-Team Bob over here. And we got lead core. We got 832 Suffix out, gets really deep. Bob's got one coming over here on a 7 color. Deep Junior Thunder Sticks, rolling dirty, little smelt imitators. And we're bringing one in here in Bob, and we had one pop on the outside, and it's 5 colors, so that's quite a bit shallower. But here's the key, small baits, small baits, and that's why we need lead core. And this is a brand new color, it's not even out yet. Thunderstick. First time, that might be the first fish ever caught on that color right there. We had to swipe some of these. Look at that. It's right there on the front hook. You have that a lot with these. Nice dark fish. But here's one of the keys when you're doing this. You generally want small profile thin baits. Little thunderstick, kind of looks like a perch. But, oh yeah. So we're doing something a little different too. We're going to show you here because, you know, I get a lot of questions about why we don't do certain things a certain way. Some of it's just the way we like to do things, but sometimes it's what you got to do. And so because we're running so much line out, we're rigging our boards to release, which you guys always ask me why I don't do that. But this we do because we just have too much stuff out and you really can't clear. But we're going fast enough, we're over 2 miles an hour right now, that we can basically get that to pull out and clear. So a lot of times when we're going slower than that, you don't have enough speed to have those things pull out. And so that's a huge problem. So we're gonna try to get some lines in the water. 2 fish, 2 lines. It's a pretty good start.
Here's the map.
B-Team Bob, always dialing it in for us. All right, let's do another. So again, little baits, key. That's the key out here. A lot of times you're charging the bigger fish, and as long as you don't have shorts or junk, you want those little ones, like little Deep Junior Thunder Stick.
Come on, this fish is beautiful.
Little Canadian colors, huh? Looks like a Canadian flying, except for 4 times the size. So one of the things we like to do that I don't normally do, except for when we're fishing this deep, is, yep, we got fish on both outsides. We're running 7 colors on this side and 5 colors on this side because we don't want to have difference in length so we can clear them out. So if that makes sense. So Bob's gonna pop this release off on this one and let it slide basically right now he's doing it. We're gonna slide it right over the top. And we got the same thing with our outside board over here, that we can actually get them around and keep them in the water because they're literally getting bit nonstop. So once he pops that, you can see, if you swing over there a little bit, if Bob's not reeling, he's just gonna let that kind of work behind the boat a little bit. Really, it's just like big boards, but we're using little boards, right? Yep.
You want to bring everything back up through the middle so it's clear of all the other lines that we've got out there.
So you can see we got this board coming in here. We've got just the rear clip on it. So Bob's got a long time of reeling in. So what I'm gonna show you here is we've got a Dubro release that we put on there. And then we've got a regular kind of typical clip with the pin in it. And so we're popping this free, and we'll show you a little later exactly how to do that. And then we've got this on here, and that just allows us to clear these out because we would have a nightmare situation without it. So, you know, the guys watch these videos, I get it, they're always like, hey, what lure, all this stuff. It starts way before this. We drove miles, literally miles upon miles, nothing. And we're marking the smelt. Once you find the smelt, we're find the walleyes. Bob says we are ready. But that's how high-speed marking with the hummingbird to get on these schools of smelt. That's what you got to do, because there is a lot of dead water out here. And these fish are chasing these, and so these schools of smelt are ever moving. Babe, I think this bait is going to be a winner. I picked this one out of all the stuff we've got. You know, I don't like new stuff. And it is a winner. Chicken dinner. And they are hitting. Here's the thing we really like. It's kind of like front hook. So, I mean, they are just crushing this thing. You can see it's a brand new color thunder stick. Kind of looks like a metallic perch, but I don't know what to tell you except for it catches it. Bob, that's twice now I've had to tell you you've had a fish on. I mean, I've seen them from other times in other boats. I've said, like, hey Bob, you got one on your boat when I'm in my own boat, but it's more fun to tell when you're close like this.
It is definitely quiet time.
Bob, Bob.
Let me check my watch. It's
Bob,
quiet time.
It's 8:30. Ain't gonna happen today. So another little thing we do with our lead core is we run a 50-foot section of mono in there, and that way we can attach these boards a lot easier, and it gives us a little cushion. The other reason I do that is I don't use line counters, using just the Shimano TR200, and it's a less expensive reel. You don't need all that fanciness, and so that extra 50 feet can actually act as almost an additional depth. So let's say you're catching them on 7 colors, 5 colors isn't catching them as good. What I'll do is I'll let out that 50 feet of line. It's basically like having an extra color, and then I can even put a weight on there, and that's just going to help you not have to carry as many reels and kind of dial in that hot bite. But so far, 5 or 7 doesn't matter. Pick the rod up, Bob. Old school. We got them on brand new baits, and then this one I've had since high school. Literally this exact bait, old fire metallic rainbow trout. Oh, look at that spitting smell up right here. This bait is old. Not bobbled, but it's working on it. This nice fish. Pat, this one didn't make it out, and we've already got one.
We're doubled up on the other.
Bob's doubled up. Bob's doubled up. Oh boy, is that what you were calling a streamer? I thought you were talking about me, Bob. Oh, you're doing such a good job. We got one on the inside diver. We got both lead cores going. We literally have not been able to get more than 3 lead core rods in. That's kind of the downside, is you got so much line and so much stuff going on in order to avoid tangles. But you can see we got one going here. We got one rolling back over this way. And we got one on our diver too, which is just, that's another reason, if you watch our Dipsy Diver video, why I really like the releases tight, because we just got way too much stuff going on to deal with another rod.
Pull that way in the pipe. I want him on that side because those boards are going to get.
Oh yeah, chunky monkey. Look at this thing on fire, this bait. Brand new color, I have no idea what the heck it's called. Deep Junior Thunder Stick, kind of looks like mixed veggies meets perch. But what I can tell you is, you can get them at Fish USA, of course. Little baits, big fish, the little smelters. You know, lead core is a killer method for catching fish, but there's different types of lead core, and there's two different ones that I use for very different applications. One of them is the Fish USA Stealth Core. So it alternates between black and red colors. That's it. Where a traditional lead core has 6, 7, 8 colors or something like that, alternating so you know how much you have out. Where the red and black is for stealth, hence Stealth Core. And I'm using 18 pound, and that's only available at Fish USA. But the reason I'm using that is generally going to be in cold water, and the reason is that sheath is the average size or a little bit larger than the other type that I use. And that's going to allow me to actually have to use more line, which you say, why would you want that? But I actually want to have more subtle depth because it's not going to sink as quickly. And I also want to be able to use more so that I can get it away from the boat, and I'm going to have a lot more stealthy situation when those fish are really finicky. And a lot of times you want that depth control to have that weight distributed amongst a longer line. Now in the summertime we're doing the opposite. So we've got a Suffix 832. It's still 18 pound, but the diameter is much, much smaller. It's kind of that super braid sheath, and it's just like if you were using 30 pound mono or 8 pound mono, you know, which one is going to get deeper because of that thinner diameter. So in that case, when the summertime goes, I want that Suffix 832. It's going to get a lot deeper. I mean, several feet per color in most circumstances, so we can get more depth. So lead core is not lead core. Look at different types depending on what time of year you're going to be using it.
Ready?
Walk it through it.
All right, so a little learning thing here. We had a pile of fish on our first pass, came back around, and we didn't catch anything on divers. We missed one in all the chaos, but we had them too deep. Kind of set them for memories a little bit, and we wouldn't monkey with anything because we were just trying to get those lines that were catching them in the water. And now I just set that diver and I raised it up. Boom, didn't even get the second one in.
Slide right.
So on our divers, we chose to go with some double willows. Good smell imitator, tends to catch some better fish. That's what Pat's reeling in right now, a little silver streak double willow. We're about to scoop up right now. Good communication. Okay, so we got a really long leader, so we got to talk here.
You're gonna be back up
We're
right.
gonna put that diver almost in the rod tip, and then I'm gonna have you slowly. Yep. Oh yeah, nice, nice, nice fish. All right, pull a little line out of there. Oh boy. Right in the kisser here. Little VMC #1s. So one of the things I like to do is I use a bigger hook on that. That's a 1/0 VMC. And they don't flex as much, and that way you don't have to redo the rigs as much. But when you get a nice donkey like that, you can see it went right through there. A smaller hook, you can't get through that gap on those fish. So deep water, a little bit bigger hooks. So here's what we got going on right now. Pat's on a 5 color. Bob's still got his 7 color side. We're gonna give this just a second before he pops that out, because we've got more line out there. So we're gonna get a little closer here so we don't have any chaos. Then I'm gonna set this, what was our inside board. Now that we're free and clear, we're gonna make this one just go a little farther, other 5 colors. So I would not mix colors. Like, you wanna run basically the same lead lengths on each side. So 7 and 7, 5 and 5. We got Bob rolling dirty on that other one. We popped that free and we're rolling. And where Pat's here is going into the leader. And really, again, the key thing, keep saying it, but is the small baits, small profile. Generally, you don't want that shad profile. You want them thin little kind of pencil baits, like the Deep Junior Thunder Sticks. We've literally been using these baits forever. One of them we have out's 30 some years old, but 2 of those new colors are straight fire. That's a nice fish. Nice chunky monkey. This one's kind of like Pat. It's not like short. It's not super long, but it's a little chunky.
Stout.
Oh, oh yeah. Oh yeah. long handle nets. I promise it helps out a lot. Look at that. That is like you, Pat. That one's a little, it could lose a couple pounds. But, you know, we normally let a lot of these fish go, but this one's going to the Crisco Disco because when you're catching this deep, going this fast, this warm water, the mortality rate's just not good. We had just another really nice fish. Great greeting here. He's normally like Silent Bob, so when we were working on the project though, he gave me many hours of sweat equity, and it was greatly appreciated, but he's not a big communicator. He likes quiet time. He doesn't like, you know, so we kind of put him over in his corner, or I went in my corner, depending on how you look at it. What do you think of that?
Yeah, but you just never stop talking.
So Bob, what you're saying is this isn't just an on-camera thing. This is even when we're just...
Absolutely.
So like quiet time, is that a thing in your world? Do you feel like I'm one of your grandsons? Yes or no?
Absolutely.
This is
not.
a deposition.
No way. That's not going to happen.
Bob, just think if I was your son-in-law. I know your daughters are happily married, but I mean, if something was to happen, Pat, don't you think I would make an excellent son-in-law for him?
Like redheaded grandkids.
Oh yeah. Ginger fire.
Now you made me lose count where I'm at.
We've rattled them, folks.
Yeah, I think I'm coming on to the last color right now.
On the stick. Thunder from down under. So one of the things I really like about lead core too, it's kind of a pain, but it just obviously catches them. When it's rough, you catch fish, and it's not today rough, but you catch them a lot easier when it's rough out, because you basically have a lot less surge. So if some guys may be running 3, 4, 5 ounce weights or whatever it is, that's going to surge a lot more. With that lead core, that weight is distributed amongst that line. So we've got out 5 and 7 colors. There's 30 feet per color, and you have that weight that entire length. So it's a nice subtle deal, and it keeps that at that same depth. And when it's rough, it makes it a whole lot easier. So Bob brought up a good point. I got a little rambunctious. So, you know, we popped that one to kind of bring it back. It was the inside board, didn't really need to, and I probably should have kept that hooked up, because Bob's trying to get this this other board out with the lead core on the opposite side. It just gives you a little more working room, because you got to remember, just because you're 10 feet apart here or whatever it is with rod tips, when you've got 100 and some feet back, those things will basket weave right together. You know, I thought we were going to grab the diver, but we should have left that board hooked up, and that would have given us a little more working room.
The other variable, you don't know where that fish
Yeah,
might be going this way, that way.
Hundreds of feet of line back there.
Yeah.
They're just all nice.
I think we'll look at the outside diver here first.
Oh yeah, outside diver. Okay. Pat, why don't you take that off and show them? Come on, you gotta...
They're just garfing these little baits. It's in the net.
Yep.
Let's see, just do this, clean up in a second here. Thank you.
Inside diver did a little turn. So fish are coming on our divers on the turns. You know, what is that doing? It's moving that up and down the water column, giving a little more action. So we haven't had much time to play with the dipsies, to be perfectly honest, just because the board lines have been so good. But maybe they don't want the meat as much. You know, they had been catching them pretty good on the crawlers. Maybe we don't have the right setup, who knows, but it's hard to monkey with it when you're catching so many fish on the crankbaits. Those thunder sticks are just fire. One of the biggest things I would tell you guys is, like on the dipsy divers, is the leads. Like, we're literally got 2 on the divers, we only got 1 in the water, is to just adjust those leads. Even 5 feet makes a world of difference. On that first pass, as many fish as we caught, we never landed one on the diver because we were just out of the zone. I mean, a little bit of lead difference makes a big difference in catching. Our work is not done. We still got old Bob there. We got some fish on the screen too. And you know, the fish are way up above the smelt right now. So I don't know what that means, but I know that we're catching. So that's what we're gonna do. Bob, when you get those little fish off of my hot lure that you can't even buy yet, you catch big uns, Bob. God, you got fire. Look at that.
We'll take them off right. Oh.
I feel like I'm on a Make-A-Wish trip. Is that offensive to anyone? I was thinking that about the children.
You ruined your Make-A-Wish puzzle.
No, this is his Make-A-Wish.
Deep Junior Thunderstick just continue to take it to Pound Town. High Diver. High Diver is going. This one's been the hot one. It's amazing, just a little bit of line difference.
You're talking on the weed?
Yeah, I mean, 4 fish pretty quick. Didn't touch one through that melee we had in the first one. It's just, you really got to, when you're fishing these dips, you've got to monkey with the numbers. And it's a lot easier, obviously, to adjust your depths up or down. A lot of times that can tell you where you need to be with your board lines, too, if you're too deep or too shallow. You know what, it's crazy. The thing with the divers, too, is it seems like they can be more picky with the lures on it. Which I know sounds really weird, but this particular lure has caught, color-wise, has caught way bigger fish on average. And in this case, actually more too. That's, usually it's not that way. Bob's, he's having a little rough day. I mean, if we were on Survivor, all I'm saying is right now I'd take Pat, which is amazing. But
I have more fat on me.
yeah, it's easier to eat. But I mean, you know, like, I mean, if there's like a hot now around, or you remember those, or rallies, we could probably be with Bob. But I mean, he's letting a lot of sandwiches go. That's all I'm saying. We're not gonna, like, you know, there's a lot in there, so we're not gonna get going crazy. But I mean,
Yeah, I definitely have control over what happens under the sea.
we're batting the Hyundai over here. All right, so we had a pretty good little first pass or two there. So what we're gonna do is, I normally like to put them in the live well just to get them going, make sure we get a good accurate count. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna use the Lakewood live well bag to get these moved up to the front. So we got 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh! 10, 11. 12. So we're going to put 12 up there in the cooler. So Pat's going to take this and just set this. How nice it is. You just set that sucker right in the big cooler we got up front with ice ready to roll. Pat, keep going, Pat. Good. You're not hung in that, right?
No.
Watch out. Triple. B-League, we got 3 on at once. We were trying to slow this train down and it ain't slowing. Okay, stop reeling. Another Silver Streak Double Willow. It's a great smelt imitator. Hooks are out. Couldn't have asked. Whoa. We're gonna put that one right in the cooler. So it's really important to kind of know what you have and how much line you have out. Like Bob's got that 7 color way out there, and we know it's darn near 200 feet of line out. So Pat, we've got this one. We're gonna basically bring him in ahead of time, even though we started cranking way after, kind of underneath. And so that's why I'm always asking the guys, you know, how much line do you have out? Because we're kind of trying to play air brakes here and have these things going around. Because the faster we can get them in, less chance of losing them. But then the other thing is getting more lines out and having more clean areas to set lines in. So, you know, today lead core was on fire. We made an adjustment though with the dipsy divers, and it was a big one because that contributed an awful lot of fish. But in the boat, we've got heavy snap weights, we've got wire line, we've got a lot of different things. We didn't even get the downrigger down. So the big thing is even though we caught them on lead core today really good, you know, and you say, okay, let me go spool up a bunch of 5s and 7 colors, you gotta have a lot of stuff. I've got 10 colors in the boat because every day it's gonna be different and you gotta be prepared for that. So thanks for sticking with us. Make sure you tune us in here on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, of course, Big Water Podcast. Bob, where are we at? That's where you say big water fishing.
Oh, big water fishing.
Because that's what we're doing.
Yeah.
Producer dude. We're done.